How's it going, guys? Welcome back to Crafting Cars. In today's video, we're going to be removing the rear glass and rear quarter glass from our 1997 Honda Civic. This video will be applicable if you've got a 96 to 2000 Civic, but I'm sure the EG Civics, the previous generation, is probably a pretty similar process. Now, I've never removed glass from a car before. However, I watched some YouTube videos, did some reading online, picked up some tools, and I think we're going to be able to get it done today. I'm sure since this is my first time, I'll probably make some rookie mistakes along the way. So hopefully by the end of the video, the glass will be out the car, we'll be able to learn from our mistakes, and then this video will be able to help you guys out as well. So here's the tools we're going to be working with today. Everything you see here you can purchase on Amazon or at Harbor Freight. Just got our standard glass suction cups, our Harbor Freight windshield removal kit, some plastic trim and molding removal tools. I got some upgraded windshield removal wire, just so we get a cleaner cut. It's easier to cut out the old urethane because I know that can be kind of tough. I heard the Harbor Freight wire sometimes like to break, so if this saves us some time, it's definitely going to be worth the extra money. I got some standard razor blades and some nice little holders to hold the razor blades so it's nice and comfortable as we scrape out all the old urethane. Main reason I'm doing this modification is because, one, I got a discount on some nice Y&S Lexan windows I'm going to replace these with, and they're tinted, so that'll save me some more money. And another thing is I want to remove the old molding around the windows just because it's getting kind of dry rotted. It's old, cracking, and in some spots it's cut up pretty bad. So yeah. So starting off this project, let's see what we can do about these rear quarter window moldings. Looks like coming off not too bad. Definitely want to remove this side first, but then I'm sure it's glued around the rest of the window. I'm not too concerned if I rip these up. I figure they probably are going to rip and crack since they're so old. There we go, now we're talking. I'll also be happy today if we can remove all these windows without shattering any of them. Now this one window has been replaced before. When I was in high school, I was taking a kayak off the roof of my car, came down and broke this window. Now when this car was first painted gray a couple years back, one of my coworkers just did it in his garage, and he didn't do the best job masking off the trim, so a lot of the trim actually stuck to the paint, which has just kind of caused a lot of headache for me. It damaged the trim quite a bit, and it causes problems because when you try to take off the trim, the paint stuck to it, and it'll chip up with it. So just gonna try to run a razor blade and cut a little gap in between the trim and the paint to make sure none of it's stuck still. Nice. Now that really wasn't so bad. We got it out. You gotta pull pretty hard and just take your time, take it slow, and it should come out pretty easy. However, this is not OEM Honda glass. This one has been replaced before, so that could be why it came off so easily. But I did have one little issue with the molding sticking to the paint like I was kind of talking about earlier, so I'll just have to touch that up. This car hasn't been wet sanded yet. For those who are new to the channel, I'm just wrapping up the paint job on this 97 Civic, so I got some little things I gotta correct and add that to the list. So let's go ahead to the other side of the car and see if we can remove that OEM molding around the OEM glass just as easy. Big chip there at the bottom. I definitely should have done this before I painted the car. And we're onto the rear window. Now I'm seeing a little split right there, so I think that's where I'm gonna wanna start. Start by cutting it in half. Sheesh. That is in there. I just wanna get a hole on it, Maybe I'll grab a pliers. Okay. All right. Now we're talking. Yes. All right. I'm just gonna see for you guys who are interested in replacing just the molding and don't like taking out windows, see if I can just pop this back in. Yeah. So it does look like if you wanted to replace just your molding, go ahead and see if you can just pull out your molding. It might not be glued in, and you might be able to replace your molding without replacing your windows. That's good to know. All right, so now that those moldings are out of there, we're on to removing the rear windows. I did get a little bit ahead of myself and removed one of the rear quarters without filming. It went pretty smooth, but honestly, it wasn't that bad. You don't have to remove any trim panels. However, you do run the risk sometimes of having your wire kind of rub up against the plastic here and chafing it a little bit. So if you care about stuff like that, you can go ahead and remove the lower and upper portion, but this is nothing that can't be taken care of with some sandpaper, and this portion will be up against the black painted portion of the new glass anyway, so nobody's gonna see it. So the first thing I did before removing the window was apply masking tape all the way around the edge, a couple layers thick, just to help reduce the chance of scraping away your paint. So now we'll string up about 3 feet of this window cutting wire here. Just gotta run it through this hole, goes through that tiny little slat, and through that hole, you shove it down, and you are locked in. We'll do the same thing on the other side. Ready to go. Now I found it easiest to start on the corner of the window here, tuck the wire underneath the glass, and then you just kind of want to back and forth. Being really careful not to rub up against your paint. It's gonna take some force, and it's gonna take some time. Get this back. So once you get to about the halfway point, where your wire's about halfway through the window, you notice it starts to get a little loose. And now you're gonna wanna start thinking about how you're gonna take it off. So we'll use these suction cups here. And before I just tape the window up, but if you got a partner with you, I recommend it's much better with 2 people. Suction it to the glass. We'll only really need to use 1. And then Lauren will just get ready. This last little bit is gonna take a while since we have all this urethane to saw through. But yeah, Lauren will be ready to pull the window right off safely. Ready? Nice. All right. That's not too bad. So moving on to the back glass, of course, you're gonna wanna tape around the edges. And I did try using this tool so I could use the technique where you kind of fish the wire in through the inside, pop it through the urethane, and then have a handle out here and a handle in there and kind of saw back and forth that way. However, it's pretty hard to reach deep down in the car, especially I've got long arms and I still struggled with it. So I think the better method is kind of doing what we did on the side windows, and you're gonna wanna string up a real long piece of this razor wire and wrap it around as much of the window as you can. Now, as far as protecting the interior pieces, some things you gotta look out for. So let's see if I can climb in here real quick. Gotta watch out for this, the rear defrost. So you're gonna wanna unplug those. See, I already unplugged it on that side. Another thing is you wanna protect these plastics here. So you don't have to completely unbolt this, since that's gonna be kind of a headache because you gotta take off the seat belt and this panel and everything. But you can just kind of pry it down and just unclip it enough where you can loosen this up and just pop that off so it doesn't get in the way. Like that. And then yeah, if you want to shove some towels under there, just kind of hold it off the glass to give yourself some more space, you can do that as well. Just like that. Now in the rear, the plastic on the rear deck and the plastic around the third brake light come pretty close to the glass, so they are at risk of getting scuffed up. So what I'm going to do is take this cutting board here, just slide it in between the glass and the plastic, just as a little protective barrier. So yeah, now we can start wrapping our wire around the glass. We'll just start sawing back and forth. Now I already cut through a good portion of the glass here. One thing you'll notice is you'll catch on those little tabs for the rear window defrost. So you're gonna wanna unhook it from there. We're gonna run into the same thing once we get to the other side. And we do wanna make sure that the wire is on top of the cutting board, but underneath the glass there, so. At this point, I'm going to shorten up my wires a little bit because it's getting kind of awkward. All right. Now that we're all the way cut through, I laid down some towels for a nice soft spot to set the glass. Just gonna carefully transfer it over to the towels. I'm trusting these suction cups with my life here. There we go. So that's really all there is to it, guys. All our windows are now removed. I'm glad we used the upgraded wire. We didn't have any issues with our wire breaking on us. So yeah, we had the right tools for the job, and we literally saved ourselves hundreds of dollars. And now with those tools, we can remove windows for friends, or you can go to a junkyard, remove a window for yourself. So yeah, it's very helpful, and yeah, pretty painless. So now, if you want to see me install new windows in the car, make sure you subscribe and have your notifications turned on. I got a set of YNS Lexan 35% tinted windows that I'll be installing. On the sides, I'll be sealing them up with new urethane and rivets. And then on the back, I'll just be using urethane. But yeah, I'll get those custom painted and everything, make them fit all nice. I'm gonna have new OEM Honda moldings installed on there, and we'll install on the car. And we are really getting close to wrapping up this build to the point where I could take it on the street and take it to car shows and be socially acceptable. I'm really excited. So yeah, just a couple more things and we'll be on our way. So I hope to have this car kind of on the road, driving, able to take it to the shows in the middle of May coming up here. I got some car shows I want to go to, some of the Minnesota Honda Club car shows I want to be at. So yeah, that's all I got for you guys today. Thank you once again for tuning in to Crafted Cars. If you have any comments or any questions or anything, leave them down in the comments down below and I'll reply to them. And other than that, I guess I'll just see you not next Tuesday, but the Tuesday after that. Bye-bye.